Turn on captions. All right, so I think I got some 130 questions.
I just sent you a message related to that, semi-related to that story.
Oh my! You sent me an email or sent me a message in Teams? Which one?
Text message.
Oh, okay. I hadn't come through yet.
If that's the number, the
356-3874.
no, 260-6743.
No, that's my office number, man.
Oh,
You dork.
Which one is it then?
I don't know. It's only on a freaking test and on my information sheet. I ain't gonna tell you.
No, that's your. That was
man.
your. That was your office. Oh, okay.
All right.
That's why.
Let's look. I'm gonna go backwards.
Oh man.
Good gracious, we got some out of 1.6.
Oh Lord, that's
There's
the wrong
1.7. Let's see. What is 1.7? Is that chain rule? Yeah. So I'm gonna go backwards. This is 1.737/17. That way I can get the chain rule in today. 1.737/17. Let me make sure I wrote that down right. Yeah, 17. It says, find the derivative for each pair of functions. Okay, if I'm reading this right, I don't understand. Okay, we haven't done implicit differentiation, so I guess I just want us to take the derivatives for each one. So y is equal to x squared minus 7x, and x is equal to t squared plus 3. So I think they're trying to show you how to rewrite the derivative in terms of what you're taking the derivative of. I think that's what they're trying to show you. So with this one,
priority 1 message coming in on secure
okay,
channel.
that must be you. All right, so this one would be dy dx, because you're taking the derivative of y with respect to these variables. So that would be dy dx is equal to 2x minus 7. This would be dx over dt. Now, you're going to see this a lot. Oh, yeah. You're going to see this a lot, especially if you're like Miss Davis and going to take 111 and then take 140. No, I'm just kidding. You're going to see that because when you're doing implicit differentiation, what does this T stand for in physics and math? In respect to time. And time is the third dimension or the third element that you have to take in account in differentiation. So you're going to see this right here a good bit. dy dt dx dt equals 2t plus 0. So the differentiation is dy dx is equal to 2x minus 7, and dx dt is equal to 2t. Now, me reading the directions, that's what I come up with. I don't know what they're doing unless they're plugging into, they're taking that t and plugging it into that. I don't know what they're doing. I've never seen this question before. But that looks like what they're doing. Find for each pair. Now, doesn't it say find the derivative for each pair of the functions? But that looks like they're plugging and chugging. I think, I have no idea what they're doing. Let's see what they're doing. I did differentiate that. And I differentiated that. Where in the directions does it tell us to put them together? Now substitute the expression for dy dt into dx dt. Well, I don't know why you're doing that. Oh my goodness. I don't understand what they're doing here, but I'm going to show you what they're selling. They're telling you to take two. They're telling you after you take the derivative of each, which the directions does not say this. They want you to get 2t and x. They want you to get one variable. So 2t times 2x minus 7, and x is equal to t squared plus 3. So 2t times 2 times t squared plus 3 minus 7. And that's going to be 2t times 2t squared and then plus 6 minus 7. And that's going to be 2t times 2t squared. 6 minus 7 is -1. And that should be your answer. This is not a test question because I have no idea where they even come up with this problem. There's no chain rule here. The only thing they're doing is they're getting everything in terms of one variable. But they're not telling you that. I think what they're find dy dt, I think what they're saying when dy dt is combine the t's and take the derivative. I think that's what they're trying to tell you. So go ahead and I'm going to blow this up. There you go, right there. I love how they throw these new problems in here. So I took the derivative of this one. I took the derivative of this one. I multiplied them together. I didn't, and then I plugged in what x is. I plugged that in respect to t because this is in terms of t. I could have easily done it with x, but we don't have anything solved for t. I'd have to solve this for t or solve this for t, and that'd be the square root of x minus 3. So I could plug the square root of x minus 3 right here and get a similar equation in terms of x. But they didn't want x, they wanted dt. So there you go. Like I said, it's not a good test question. All right, let's try another one. I hope we get a chain rule here in just a second. See if we can find a chain rule. Okay, that takes care of those two. And for some reason, it's still sending doubles. I don't know why. 1.734, 15. 1.734, 15. Find dy dx. Find dy dx for y is equal u to the 1/2, and u is equal to x squared plus 7. Same type concept. They want dy dx. So that means that if they want to take the derivative of y, which is, hold on, they want to take derivative of y in respect to x. Well, it's not x, it's u. Now, you could do this algebra-wise. You could do it dy dx. So that means I could take this u and plug it in here and do the chain rule. Now, that makes sense to what we're doing. So dy dx means that I'm going to take the derivative of y with letters of x. That's what that means. But I can't do that. There's y, but I can't do that because it's in terms of u. So I've got to take this guy and plug it in here, and then I got the chain rule, in which that factors into what we're doing. So 1/2, and plug that in here. So that's x squared plus 7. Now we're ready to do the chain rule. And that's going to be dy dx equals, bring this out front, 1/2 times x squared plus 7 to the 1/2 minus 2/2. And here's your parentheses. And somebody tell me what the derivative of x squared plus 7 is. What's the derivative of x squared plus 7?
2x.
And I'm going to put that in pink parentheses, so you'll know I took the derivative of what's in the pink parentheses. And that should be it. Now you just got to what? Simplify. So dy dx is equal to, I'm going to bring that 2x out front because this is all multiplication. 2x over 1 times 1/2 x squared plus 7. 1/2 minus 2/2 is negative 1/2. And that 2, get the red pen out. That 2 will cancel with that 2. Just leave x on the top, and this comes down. So our final answer, dy dx, is equal to x over x squared plus 7 to the 1/2 power, or this goes to the trash can, or x over square root of x squared plus 7, in which you'd multiply by the square root of x squared plus 7, and you get x times the square root of x squared plus 7 over x squared plus 7. Now that would be a test question. Why? Because when you plug this into this, you have the chain rule. Okay, does that help on that one, hopefully?
Yeah.
That's a good test question. I wouldn't give you too many of them because, let me see if I'm right. I should be right. Hell, I don't know some of the questions these homework questions are asking. I'm just going to say 3. x over the square root of x squared plus 7. So this is the one they're using. I like when they pick good questions. I don't like when they pick stupid questions. All right, that's 34, so there's 2 of those. This is 1.711. 1.711 in the book and 11 online. 1.711/11. Looks like several people sent this one. Differentiate. Oh yeah, this is a good test question right here. This is the kind of stuff I like to give you on the test. All right, so y is equal to 2x minus 5 to the third power times, nobody ever writes like this, but 2 minus x to the fourth raised to the second power. That must be some of that new Tide Pod algebra they teach you now. I've never seen it before, and not in the last couple of years. I've never seen this before right here. 2 minus x to the fourth. That must be some kind of new initiative or something. Never seen that before until the last couple of years. Must be that Tide Pod milk crate math. All right, so got to use product rule and the chain rule. So dy dx is equal to the first 2x minus 5 times the derivative of the second, which I'll do that in pink.
Yeah, there are 3.
Oh, shoot. Let me start all over. Sorry about that. 1.711/11. Y is equal to 2x minus 5 to the third power times 2 minus x to the fourth to the second power. It really bothers me, but I'm gonna trudge on. Dy over dx is equal to first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. Okay, that's the initial setup of the product rule. So dy dx is equal to first, and now I'm going to take the derivative using the chain rule. So that's going to be 2 parentheses, that's in 2 minus x to the fourth, 2 minus 1. And somebody tell me what's the derivative of 2 minus x to the fourth? Negative 4x to the third, Hubert. Thank you, class. The reason I colored that green is because that's part of taking the derivative chain rule. Bring the 2 out front using the power rule. Leave that, minus 1, power rule, and then take the derivative of what's inside the parentheses. Plus 2 minus x to the fourth to the second power times 3 2x minus 5 to the 3 minus 1. And somebody tell me, what is the derivative of 2x minus 5? That means I want somebody to communicate. 2. What happened to Mr. Brooks? All I got is the ceiling there. What's for Mr. Brooks? You there? Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he had to step out for a second. All right. Now, somebody tell me this. Are we done with the calculus? Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Calculus is done. So finish up with your Master of Algebra skills. Finish up. Mr. Lynch, the lighting in your room there and your beard makes you look like you got a Phantom of the Opera mask on. I just thought I'd pick on you a little bit. It is. Your beard is black and your lighting, it makes your face white. It looks like a Phantom of the Opera mask. Now you turn a certain way, it doesn't look like that. So just the way it hits your face.
I was going for that look. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Actually, I just get bored and I try to pick on people that are tough enough to handle it, but I got to watch it. I don't know who the
Snowflakes are.
I don't know who the buttercup snowflakes are. So. It's amazing what lighting can do. All right, so what can I do? Well, first of all, that 2 and that 4, negative 4x cubed, it can come out front. That's going to be negative 8x cubed. Negative 8x cubed. And 2x minus 5 to the 3rd power. And 2 minus x to the 4th to the 1st power. And plus that 3 and that 2, that's 6. 2 minus x to the 4th to the 2nd power times 2x minus 5 to the 2nd power. Now, I really don't see very much. The only thing I see, I would turn this around a little bit and I'd rewrite it. Negative 8x to the 3rd, 2x minus 5 to the 3rd power times 2x, 2 minus x to the 4th plus 6, and I'd put this 2x minus 5 to the 2nd power, and then 2 minus x to the 4th to the 2nd power. Now, you could factor out a 2 and a 2x minus 5 to the 2nd power and a 2 minus x to the 4th to the 1st power. And I'm just going to put that right here. I'm going to factor out a negative 2. And then I'm going to factor out a 2x minus 5 to the 2nd power and a 2 minus x to the 4th to the 1st power. And that's going to give me 4x cubed. And that's going to be 2x minus 5. And then that's going to be a minus 4 or minus 3. And that's going to go out, and that's going to leave 2 minus x to the 4th. And you could actually distribute this, and you might be able to collect some like terms, but I'm going to leave that algebra up to the book and y'all. But I did 2 different answers right there. And this is just left alone, and this is factored out. Let's see what they want. I don't know. I don't really know if you could do anything with this. That'd be 4. It'd be 8x to the 4th minus 20x to the 3rd. You would have an x to the 4th here, but that'd just be 8x to the 4th minus plus 3x to the 4th, which would be 11x to the 4th. So you could combine 1 or 2 terms there. That 5, no. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to do too much with that. So I'm going to put a 3 there. And they got 2 times 2x. They did factor it out. 2 minus x to the 4th. And they did go further right here. So we'll go one step further. No, I didn't expect that. So we're going to go one step further. So there's that. So we're going to bring this down. That's going to be negative 2 times 2x minus 5 squared, 2 minus x to the 4th. And then this is going to be 8x to the 4th minus 20x to the 3rd minus 6 plus 3x to the 4th. And that's going to be negative 2 times 2x minus 5 squared times 2 minus x to the 4th. 8x plus 3x to the 4th. 8x to the 4th plus 3x to the 4th is 11x to the 4th. That's gone. Minus 20x to the 3rd minus 6. And that should be what they got. Yeah, and they wrote it backwards. Looks like they did that right there. I wish somebody would enlighten me on this. Has anybody noticed in the school transitioning, I mean, your high school from junior high to high school, transitioning that 11x to the 4th should be where that 6 is, but I don't know where that's coming from. Anybody?
Not sure.
I've never seen that before. All my years in teaching and being a student, I've never seen putting a 6 right there first. I would like to know where that's coming from. Next, so hopefully Miss Brody and Jones, that good on that one? You see how to do that? Is that better?
I have another question about that one.
Yeah, go ahead. What?
Where we have the negative 6 in the answer, did they put a positive 6?
I don't know, but we will look. If I can still pull it up. It's not there, but I think I pulled this one up. Let me see if it's still there. If not, I'll do it again. They factored out a negative. Yeah. See here. See my answer? I have a -2 right there in the front. Y'all see that -2? I factor out a -1 right here. That will make that a what? A +2. This is the same answer. I'll show you what they did, Miss Brody. -2, 2x minus 5 squared, 2 minus x to the 4th, -1, -11x to the 4th, plus 20x to the 3rd, plus 6. And then this -1 and -2 becomes a +2. And that's multiplied by -11x to the 4th plus 20x to the 3rd plus 6. See there, Miss Brody? These are the same answers. Just one has a -2 in front. The other one has a +2 in the front.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody want to do that one again? We got another question to do. If anybody wants to do that one again, speak now, communicate. You want to do that one again, or you wanted to go on to another question? Nobody's going to say anything. Well, since I want to go over the chain rule, we'll do this one. Same one, different numbers. You do that one. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Yeah, it's different. I can blow this one up. I don't know why I can blow some of them up, but I can't blow. I don't know. It's a conspiracy. I know my headache's getting better now because I'm feeling a little bit better. Miss Davis, it was that trig class. I don't like that trig class. That's what it is. I'm just kidding. So this one says y is equal to 5x minus 4 quantity squared times -x cubed plus 1. I'm sorry. I can't take that. I'm sorry. To the 2nd power. I'm going to write it like I learned how to write it. I don't know. That's that new Tide Pod math. My Tide Pods came yesterday through Amazon. I get this big old gigantic candy dish of Tide Pods. So whenever I get hungry, I just try to eat a few Tide Pods. I thought y'all would appreciate me trying to, relate to y'all by me eating Tide Pods. No comment? I give y'all a hard time. I know y'all don't do Tide Pods. Y'all probably just snort condoms. Or don't forget the milk crates. Climb on milk crates and destroy public restrooms. That's always a good thing. My son, he turns 15 at the end of the month. He told me yesterday, or not, Sunday, and we were watching something, and he said, "Daddy, I guess you're right. I guess we are the generation of the dumbass." He's starting to call his generation the dumbass generation. That's pretty sad. I don't think I've ever heard of a generation calling themselves the dumbass generation. And nothing.
I think they say nothing because they know they're in that demographic.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Mr. Boston?
I think they say nothing because they know they're in that demographic.
No, well, I think it's worse for my son. I don't know what my son is because he's 15. I don't know if he's in the Tide Pod generation or not, but he even says that no, most of y'all are in my daughter's generation.
I would say
I don't know.
I would say it's Gen Z that's more affected by it, and thankfully, I'm technically not Gen Z.
I'm Gen X, D-Generation X.
My mom's Gen X. My dad's an actual boomer.
All right. So dy dt or dy dx is equal to first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. So dy dt or dy dx is equal to first times the derivative of the second, which will be 2 negative x cubed plus 1 to the 2 minus 1. And somebody tell me what the derivative of negative x cubed plus 1 is. Negative 3x squared. That's right, class. Plus the second times the derivative of the first. 5x minus 4 to the 2 minus 1. And what is the derivative of 5x minus 4? 5, Hubert. Good job. Anybody going to go see Halloween Kills? Anybody?
Nah. Probably not.
I just don't understand it.
Not a movie or TV person.
It's a movie. It's not a TV show.
No, I said I'm not a movie or TV person.
The generation raised on South Park and Grand Theft Auto.
South Park.
But don't go see
Beavis.
scary movies and
Beavis and Butthead.
Daisies, Buttercups, and I just don't understand it. It's just the opposite. You can burn a prostitute on Grand Theft Auto
To get your money
you don't want
back.
to offend anybody.
I used to do that in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, so you're sick.
Gotta get your money back.
Yeah. All right, so the 3 and the 2, I'm going to highlight those in green. No, I'm going to highlight those in orange. Those two can be put together. And these two can be put together. So I'm going to take my orange pen. And that's going to be negative 6 x squared. And this is going to be 10. Five x minus 4 squared. And this is going to be x cubed plus 1 to the first power plus negative x cubed plus 1 to the second power 5x minus 4 to the first power. Now again, you might want to rewrite it. And that's going to be negative 6x squared. And since this is 5x minus 4, that's kind of the first one. We're going to bring this 5x over here. We're going to make it match. 5x minus 4 squared, negative x cubed plus 1 plus 10. And we're going to put 5x because 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. Doesn't matter where you put them. So 5x minus 4, and then negative x cubed plus 1 to the second power. So we can factor out, I don't know, we could factor out a negative 2 again. The only reason I'm factoring out a negative 2 is because this one starts with a negative. So, I mean, you could factor out a positive 2 if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to factor out a negative 2. And I'm going to factor out a 5x minus 4 to the first power. And then a negative x cubed plus 1 to the first power. And that's going to give me a 3x squared. And that's going to be 5x minus 4. And that's going to cancel. Minus 5. And that's going to cancel. But that's going to leave this negative x cubed plus 1 to the first power. Negative 2, 5x minus 4, negative x cubed plus 1, 15x cubed minus 12x squared plus 5x cubed minus 5. And that's going to give us negative 2, 5x minus 4, negative x cubed plus 1, 15 plus 5 is 20x cubed minus 12x squared minus 5. And I'm sorry, since that's positive, I'm not going to mess with it. So that's going to be dy over dx.
Hey, Hubert.
Yes, sir.
I gotta go.
You have what?
I gotta go.
Okay, who is that?
That's Gregory Mozell.
Mr. Moselle? Okay.
Yeah.
Be careful. All right. And I think that's it for today because let's see, what time y'all get out of here? Okay, we're 3:55. We're good then. Okay. All right, so let's look at the answer. I think since it's 20x cubed, since it is positive, I wouldn't mess with this. But knowing them, they probably make it a negative just for giggles. So let's see what the answer is. Is this the answer? Lord, I don't think that's the answer. Okay, here's the answer. They got a 4. 5x. Wait a minute. That ain't the right one. Hold on, let me pull it back up. Damn Russians. Okay, I can't change this. I don't know why. But I don't think that's the right answer. I see negative x plus 1. No, that ain't the right answer. but I can't change it. So I think my answer is correct. So there it is right there. And I don't see anything you could factor out here anyway, except a -1. And that -1 would change this to a -20x cubed plus 12x squared plus 5 and change this to a 2. Capiche?
Affirmative.
That is 4 examples of chain rule. What do you mean 4? Well, on the previous problem, how many times did we do the chain rule? We did the chain rule twice. We did it right here and right here. And here, we did the chain rule twice. So that's 4 problems. 4 times we did the chain rule. So you should be able to do the chain rule now, especially with those 2 or 3 we did Thursday. Well, let's see if there's another chain rule question. Miss Brody, you feel better on that one since we did your problem too? And Miss Jones, are you good?
I'm good. Yeah. Thank you.
Good. All right, let's see what else is left. All right, I'm going to take these off now. The 11s I'm going to take off. And now we're in 1.653. Somebody sent that 2 or 3 times too. 1.653. We hadn't picked Bennett Harrison. We'll try him. 1.65318. 1.65318. Is this a test question? And those last 2 we did were good test questions. I feel like we've done this one, but I don't know. Accessories company finds cost in dollars of producing X belt is given by cost of making X belts is equal to blah, 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 blah. Find the rate of change in which the average cost, average means divide by X, is changing when 175 belts have been made, when produced. Okay, find the rate at which the average cost is changing. Find the slope of the average cost is what that says right there. I assume. So, here we go. The cost is equal to cost per X items is equal to, there it is again, -0.062x squared plus 30x plus 780. Okay, so that's the cost. Average cost, you divide everything by X. So, and you put a hat over the, so cost of X is equal to, and we're going to divide everything, so -0.062x squared divided by X plus 30x divided by X plus 780 divided by X. I believe I did one like this the other day, and I did it differently than the book. I think the book, I can't remember what they did, but we got the same answer. Y'all help my memory out. I believe I did one like this. And that's going to be X, and that's going to be -0.062x plus 30 plus 780x to the -1. Everybody with me? And now to find the rate of change of the average cost, which basically says the slope, we're going to take the derivative. Now that's the way I'm reading this question. So 1 times negative 0.062x to the 1 minus 1 plus 30x to the 0. That's going to go out. Minus 1 times 780 x to the negative 1 minus 1. And that's going to give me c prime of x is equal to negative 0.062. X to the 0 is 1. I'll go ahead and put x to the 0. That's 1. Plus 0. That goes out to 0. Minus 780 x to the negative 2. And the final is negative 780 x to the negative 2 minus 0.062. Now that is the formula for the slope, or the equation for the slope of the average cost. Now you have to read these questions carefully because they're going to try to trick you. Okay, c prime of x, and I'm just going to hit 3 because I think they want what I just circled. See there? That's it. Now they got a common denominator for that's what they did the other day. I got the same thing right here. Does everybody agree with that? I've got the same thing right here. If you got a common denominator, that would be the same thing. Okay, divide that x squared here, and you put x over here, you get the same thing. Now, when 175 belts have been produced, the average cost is changing. So plug in 175 belts. Or you could do this, you could plot it if you wanted to. And let's see, what is 175 has been produced. So plug in 175. Let's do it on the handy dandy calculator. Let's see what happens when we do it on the calculator. Well, if I could find the calculator, I'm about ready to quit. My head's already started hurting again. It's y'all's fault because y'all won't talk to me. Y'all are the date. I'll just have a salad and a water. So here we go. Y is equal to, clear. Let's go with, that'd be negative 780 over x squared, negative, parentheses, 780 over x squared.
Okay.
Close parentheses.
What are you doing, dude? Get out of my way.
Minus what?
Nothing. My cat is
Minus
on my desk.
0.062.
This is why cats are a pain in the ass.
What?
This is why cats
No,
are...
cats are not a pain in the butt. Hey there, buddy. Is that a little buddy or a little girl?
He's a boy.
He's a good boy.
Don't assume
All
his
right.
gender.
So zoom back. Let's look at this. Zoom back. I'm just giving you a different outlook on this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There it is. And we want to find out x is 175. And you could go to table, second table, and maybe find that 175. Looks like we got a negative slope. It's changing at a reducing. It's going down 0.007, or what is that? 0.087. So at 175, it's reducing or decreasing 0.087. Now, I don't know if they want a fraction or a decimal or what, so let's go back and see what they want. But that is the slope at 175. So let's go back to what they want. Changing at 0.087, and should be belts per dollar, and that should be negative. Negative. I didn't have a fourth digit, so, and of course, not right. Let's see what they want. I'm sorry, but I didn't get the 5. I'm sorry. I guess I got to change my table set. Belt, okay, dollars per belt. I'm sorry, I had it backwards. I didn't have a dollars per belt. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it's because I didn't. I had this up so high. That's probably why I didn't see it. Okay, but anyway, that's the number right there I want. 0.0875. I'm gonna go back to the calculator and see if I can change that. Table set. Let me try, no. Mode, floating, but let me try 4 digits. 5 digits. Now I'll go to table. Nope, it's not letting me. I don't know how to set and get 4 digits. Anybody know? Thought it would be under table set, but I know this changes. That changes your X to like 0.1. See, I could change that to 0.1, but that just changes the X. Does anybody know how to change the rounding on the Y? He ain't gonna tell me anyway, so I don't know why I'm asking. Table set, change it back to 1. Second tables. Like I said, I didn't have the 4th digit. There's 175 right there. I just wonder if you could find that on Google. Changing Y decimal points on TI 83. I don't know. You'd have to research it. TI 84. I don't know. You just have to find it. Anyway, I had 0.087. The answer was 0.0875. So you just have to take X and plug it in and do the math, and you'll come out with the. I just did it on the table to save a little bit of time. Okay? And that's dollars per belt. Let's see. We still got time. Let's go over one more homework question. Let's see, where is my outlook? There it is. Okay, that takes care of that. This is 1.651. 1.65117. 1.65117. And this says Find an equation of the tangent line to the graph of blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a test question. And you can use the chain rule now that you know it, if you need it. So it's a quotient. If you want to use the quotient rule, you can. Can you use the product rule? Yes or no? Now that we know the chain rule, yes, you can. I'm going to do the product rule. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Mr. Bostic, you're standing up. Don't move, Mr. Bostic. I'm going to take a picture of this.
What?
You're standing up. And Miss Gammon's head is where your head is supposed to be. Now that is hilarious. Oh, you moved. Forget it.
Oh.
That was hilarious. If Miss Gammon was showing her whole face, that would have been funny.
Is it like my height kind of thing?
Yeah, it was right on top of your Miss Gammon's head was right on top of your shoulders. That was hilarious.
Oof.
But you done messed it up, so just forget it. All right, so y is equal to 8x over x squared plus 1. And at the origin, it says find an equation of the tangent line to the graph of y at the origin and at a point. So at the origin, 0, 0, and at -1, -4. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this as product rule. I'm going to go y is equal to 8x times x squared plus 1 to the negative first power. Now, why did I do that? Because I like to use the product rule, and now I know how to do the chain rule. So I'm going to do the product rule. Y prime is equal to first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. So that's going to be y prime is equal to 8x, and the derivative of the pink is -1 times x squared plus 1 to the -1 minus 1. And what's the derivative of x squared? 2x, Hubert. That's right, class. Plus, I just wrote on my hand. I hate when I do that. X squared plus 1 wouldn't have happened if y'all would communicate with me. No, y'all don't want to communicate with me because y'all suck. All right. What is the derivative of 8x? I actually got a couple of y'all to smile there. Heaven forbid I say your names out loud because somebody might beat up on you. What's the derivative of 8x? 8, Hubert. That's right, class. So this 2x, this -1, and this 8 can all be combined. So y prime is equal to -16x and then that's going to be x squared plus 2 to the -2nd power plus 8 times x squared plus 1 to the -1 power. And that's going to be y prime is equal to -16x over x squared plus 2 to the 2nd power plus, wait a minute, that's supposed to be, where did I get x squared plus 2? Thanks a lot, y'all. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all, communicating with me. Thank you. Plus 8 over x squared plus 1 to the first power. And we can get a common denominator of x plus 1 to the second power. And it's going to look like this. So y prime is equal to negative 16x over x squared plus 1 to the second power plus 8 times x squared plus 1 over x squared plus 1 to the second power. And y prime is equal to negative 16x plus 8x squared plus 8 over x squared plus 1 to the second power. And y prime is equal to 8x squared minus 16x plus 8 over x squared plus 1 to the second power. And I'm just going to try this. I have no idea where it's going. Factor out an 8. And that's going to give you x squared minus 2x plus 1. And that is going to factor over x squared plus 1 to the second power. And that's going to be 8 times x minus, no, it's not going to work, over x squared plus 1 to the second power. So I tried. That's your equation. One of these is your equation, depending on what they want. So if you plug in 0, here, you're going to get a slope. Let's see, that's going to be 8 times negative 1 squared over 0 plus 1 is 1 squared, which is 1. So 8, negative 1 squared is 1, so it'd be 8. So at the origin, I've got a slope of 8. And negative 1, 8 times negative 1 minus 1 squared over negative 1 squared plus 1 quantity squared. So negative 2 squared is what? 4. 4 times 2 is 32. And negative 1 squared is 1 plus 1 is what? 2. 2 squared is 4. I still get 8 at that. Now, I have no idea whether all this is right. So we're going to go back and look. Meanwhile, y'all going to start self-combusting. So we're going to have to bring it down after this. I'm going to type in my last answer right there. Well, I'm just going to type in a 3. Wow, they get 8x. They did get something to cancel. How did they get 8x? Wow. They got 8x, y'all. I thought I did everything right. First times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. 8 and 2x negative 1 x squared plus 1. We'll leave this one up I don't know how they got 8x, but we'll figure it out. All right, let's go ahead and quit for right now. Well, 8 times 0. Why'd they forget the origin? It's at the origin. And where's the origin? Oh, the tangent to the curve at is 8x. X minus 1. Yeah, we got 8. I don't know how they got 8x. And I got 8. I don't think that's going to be right. They got -4. So we'll have to look at it and see. I've got something wrong somewhere. We'll look at it. We'll look at it Thursday. We'll start from this question. All right. So everybody hopefully got the answer to the question. So keep sending them. I do have the test. It's not up. Probably go over it Thursday. Okay. So let me get to the roll, and I'll call up the roll. It's probably no. It hadn't kicked me out because I hadn't logged on. Oh, I have. Let's see if it's going to let me. Oh, God, hold on. I got to give them a confirmation code.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
918-0528. All right, I'm going to undo share and undo the stop